From super emotional statements from co-stars to entire communities coming together to pay their respects, here are the most touching tributes to Lance Reddick after his death. Starting with the person who cared for him the most, his wife. Reddick may have been a massive figure for the film and video game industries, but in spite of all the iconic badass roles he played, he was a family man at heart. The 60-year-old died of natural causes on March 17th.
A surprising and sad loss today from the showbiz world. Lance Reddick has died at the age of 60.
And had been married to Stephanie Reddick since 2011. If you've ever seen him appear at any red carpet event, you'd know that she was by his side every single time. It's one thing to support your spouse, but these two were inseparable, which makes it all the more heartbreaking. So it's no surprise that Stephanie had, arguably, the most touching tribute to her late husband. "Lance was taken from us far too soon," she said in a statement posted on Lance's social media accounts. Of course, it's understandable to not have much to say after such a massive loss. And yet, she mustered up the courage and took to Twitter to thank everyone who'd sent her condolences, stories, and messages of support. She said she couldn't even begin to express how grateful she was to everyone for reaching out to her. That said, there was one community that she specifically named in her message because their tribute went above and beyond everyone else's. You guessed it, it's the Destiny fan base. Now, just in case you didn't know, Destiny is a multiplayer video game with a pretty massive player base, and Lance Reddick was a big part of that community as well. He voiced the role of Awoken Guardian Zavala.
One Guardian has been kicking your race's collective for 9 years.
Who is one of the most iconic characters in the game. In fact, he's actually one of the first people you meet in Destiny. Not to mention the actor had been playing that role for almost a decade. He was a monumental figure for the Destiny community, so it was only fitting for them to come out in full force to pay their respects. And that's exactly what they did. Throughout the day after Reddick's death, fans lined up and sat next to his character in the game, paying tribute and celebrating a remarkable career. Seriously, every single time you went to Zavala's tower, you'd find dozens upon dozens of people just huddled up in the area. The players weren't the only ones to pay their respects, as the game's developer, Bungie, also posted on its social media. To say he will be missed is a profound understatement, yet no less true. "Rest in peace, Lance," read the final sentence of the statement. As I've mentioned earlier, Stephanie Reddick also specifically addressed the Destiny community in her statement. She thanked the thousands of players who took part in the special tribute to the late actor, saying that he loved them as much as he loved the game. With that said, Destiny isn't the only community that Lance was a part of. After all, his iconic role in John Wick was deserving of some love too.
I, however, would be willing to accept the responsibility, should you wish.
Appreciate that.
And love is what he got, both from the fans of the franchise and his co-stars. Keanu Reeves issued a joint statement alongside the director of John Wick, Chapter 4, Chad Stahelski. They also echoed everyone else's sentiments in saying how saddened and heartbroken they were at the loss of their friend and colleague. They also mentioned that he was a top professional and a joy to work with. Reeves and Stahelski then sent their love and prayers to Reddick's wife and family. Now, the latest John Wick film has just been released, so it's only fitting to pay some sort of tribute to Reddick in the credits as well, right? Well, that's exactly what the filmmakers thought as well, because they wrapped up their statement by saying that they dedicate the film to his memory.
He is a beautiful person, a really special artist, and a man of dignity and grace.
Beautiful. It's what Lance deserves for his incredible contribution to both video games and movies. Of course, people seem to forget that before John Wick and Destiny, Reddick got his big break in the hit TV show, The Wire. So everyone from the Wire community came out in full force to pay respects as well. The show's creator, David Simon, took to Twitter to pay tribute to Lance, saying that he was a consummate professional and a devoted collaborator. But above all, he was a gentleman and a loyal friend. Simon then went ahead and expressed how gutted he was at the news of Reddick's passing and said that the actor was taken from us way too soon.
Sad day today in Hollywood. Actor Lance Reddick starred in popular shows like The Wire and Fringe.
Yeah, today we learned the 60-year-old died at his home in California.
Lance's co-stars from The Wire also paid similar tributes on their social media. Wandell Pierce, who played Bunk Moreland in The Wire, tweeted that Reddick was the epitome of class and was a man of great strength and grace. Interestingly, he also mentioned how the late actor was as talented as a musician as he was as an actor. Honestly, that part of his career does sometimes go under the radar. "Godspeed, my friend. You made your mark here," wrote Pierce, bookending his statement. Likewise, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., who played Clay Davis in the show, also echoed his co-star's words, saying he was shocked and saddened by the news. But if you know anything about Reddick's career, you'd know that he was a staple of not only The Wire, but multiple HBO productions.
Actor Lance Reddick, best known for his roles on The Wire and in the John Wick franchise, has died. Reddick was 60 years old.
The official HBO Twitter account posted a lengthy tribute as well, mentioning how he's held in the highest regard by all who knew and worked with him. With that said, the tributes weren't just limited to his co-stars and the communities he'd been a part of. In fact, many big Hollywood names also paid their respects to the legendary actor. Ben Stiller, for example, talked about how the late actor was a beautiful actor and person. He mentioned how Lance had worked with his mom, Ann Mira, in her play Afterplay, playing Raziel, the waiter, and the Angel of Death. He also added that Reddick was exquisite in that role and in everything else he did. James Gunn, who's the head of DCU these days, also had similar words for the 60-year-old, saying that he was a super nice guy and an incredibly talented actor. He also said he was heartbroken by the news and sent out his love to Reddick's family, friends, and collaborators. But, as I've already mentioned, film and movie were just one part of his immense contribution to the entertainment industry.
There is shock and sadness in Hollywood tonight over the death of actor Lance Reddick.
After all, he was as important, if not more, for the video game community as well. I mean, the Destiny tributes are a pretty good barometer for just how much everyone in the gaming industry reveres him. Notable figures in video games also came out in full force to pay their tributes. Jeff Keighley, who is the creator of the Game Awards and one of the most influential figures in the industry, also tweeted about Lance Reddick's legacy. He mentioned how the late actor had always been an incredible supporter of the Game Awards and the larger video game community. Nolan North, who's one of the most prolific voice actors to exist, also paid tribute to Lance, mentioning how he was a sweet guy and a gifted performer. Not to mention, Shawn Ashmore, who's both appeared in games and movies, hailed Lance as talented, kind, funny, and very cool before paying his condolences. And again, all these things are true. Lance did give so much to his craft, whether it was video games, films, TV shows, or even music.
Boy, much has changed during your time away.
Like what?
He was one of the very best entertainers and performers to grace our screens. We're truly lucky to have witnessed some of his incredible work in our lifetimes. And these folks were some of the most touching tributes to Lance Reddick after his passing.